Let's take a look at this fight on paper. Anthony Knockout Nelson out of the scrapyard in Norfolk, Nebraska, 24 years old, 5 wins, 2 losses in his mixed martial arts career. Will take on Brandon Bringewatt out of North Platte, an independent fighter as far as we know. But I believe he's fighting out of 6'9", one-on-one MMA. And here's Mike Kindle.
Is scheduled for 3 4-minute rounds for the MCF Amateur Middleweight Championship. It is brought to you by Russ Jones Law Office. Thank you very much, Russ Jones, for bringing MMA to North Platte. For all those watching on MMAFutures.com, and for all those in attendance here in North Platte, Nebraska, are you ready for? Introducing first, fighting out of the blood corner. This wrestler stands 5'11", weighed in at 182 pounds, holding an amateur record, 5 wins, 2 defeats. Training out of the scrapyard and fighting out of Norfolk, Nebraska, Anthony Nelson. His opponent for the MCF Amateur Middleweight Championship, fighting out of the blue corner, is a freestyle fighter standing 6'8", weighed in at 184.6 pounds, holding an amateur record, 4 wins, 1 defeat. Training out of top tier and fighting out of North Platte, Nebraska, Brandon, the Cylinder Bullet Bringewatt. Your referee, Dave Jobin.
And there's our official fighter introductions by Mike Kindle. Brandon Bringewatt out of top tier MMA. I apologize for that. 4-1. Anthony Nelson out of the scrapyard in Norfolk comes in at 5-2. This is our main event of the evening, and here we go. As you heard Mike Kindle say, whoa, a big takedown right off the bat. Anthony Nelson gets Brandon Bringewatt down, and he's going to go for a choke. He's looking for the guillotine choke here early in round number 1, which makes sense. The fighter's still dry. That's when those chokes are easiest to sink in on your opponent. But Brandon Bringewatt finds himself in trouble. I was starting to say, though, Brandon Bringewatt, 6'8", awful tough for any fighter to find a training partner to help him prepare for someone of that size, because there just aren't any out there. But Bringewatt now in trouble as Anthony Nelson has Bringewatt on his back. Bringewatt in the full guard, though, and has found a way to control the posture of Anthony Nelson. But a big takedown led us to this position here for Anthony Nelson. Now Bringewatt looks like he might be trying to sneak up for a triangle, but a leg bar. It could be an ankle lock. It looks like an ankle lock. Anthony Nelson trying to sink in an ankle lock on Brandon Bringewatt. Bringewatt trying to defend it, but Anthony Nelson is cranking that ankle. Brandon Bringewatt going to have to show his flexibility here, as Nelson has his leg wrapped completely underneath his body and is cranking on the ankle, still trying to hold on to an ankle lock on Brandon Bringewatt. Bringewatt so far not too affected. He's going to rain down some punches, and there we see it. The punches cause a release, and Bringewatt sinks in a rear naked choke. Brandon Bringewatt, your winner by rear naked choke in tonight's main event. Brandon Bringewatt out of top tier MMA in North Platte, Nebraska. As you see Ryan McDonald out there, that takedown of big old 6'8" Brandon Bringewatt broke the floor underneath the canvas. Thank God this is our last fight of the night, or we would have a major delay on hands. But what a fight. Brandon Bringewatt able to reverse his position, and they broke the floor. Yeah, right. I got you. Ryan McDonald comes over to tell me, indeed, that takedown breaks the MCF canvas floor here, but nonetheless, a rear naked choke victory for Brandon Bringewatt in round number 1. The positions were dominated by Anthony Nelson early on, even had Bringewatt in an ankle lock. Bringewatt, though, stays tough as we go to the replay here. You'll see the ankle lock there. Cranking on that ankle is Anthony Nelson for a good 30 seconds, but Bringewatt doesn't give up. And here's Mike Kindle with our official decision.
Seconds in the first round for your winner by tap out. Due to rear naked choke, and new MCF Amateur Middleweight Champion, Brandon the Silver Bullet Bringewatt.
Brandon Bringewatt gets the championship, the middleweight championship, MCF championship belt in front of his hometown crowd. The top-tier fighter has a few words with Mike Kendall and gets that belt wrapped around his waist for the first time. Brandon Bringewatt standing tall, standing proud. And when I say standing tall, I'm not a whistling Dixie. 6'8" of Brandon Bringewatt.